Hello there, everyone. How you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled parents, where some parents are total assholes. Now, without further ado, let's get started. Also, do a like and subscribe or your kneecaps are forfeit. Okay. For our first story, we've got quite the doozy. We've got entitled Mom Tries to Kidnap Her Own Kid. Okay, posted another entitled parent story involving my job as a nanny, and it did really well. So my fiance told me to post this one too because of how crazy it was. This story happened in the summer of 2021. As stated, I'm a nanny then and now. I was hired for the summer, but a relatively wealthy man, I'll call him John, and take care of his 9-year-old daughter, E. She was such a warm-hearted and sweet young girl, if anything, shy and introverted. The story starts right off the bat on my first day. I got to the house and noticed a few windows had boxes covering a hole. I asked John about it when I came inside. The following conversation happened. "Hey John, what happened to the windows?" He looked at me and flinched. "Well, as you know, E's mother and I are divorced, and I have full custody, and there's a restraining order against her for us. We discussed this when I was hired. Well, her mom showed up this morning, demanding to see E and have her stay with her. When I refused and told E to go upstairs, she threw things out the window and left. I made a police report. I then asked, was she arrested? He shook his head. They couldn't find her, but I called my lawyer, and when they find her, she'll be arrested for breaking the restraining order. I nodded and was about to ask what to do if she shows back up, but E called for us, and we decided to stop. E came in, and we went about our daily routine, and John worked from home today, just in case. Well, she never came. A few days go by, and we don't see or hear her. Me and E are getting quite close, and we enjoy our time together, playing games and going outside. A week later, I get to work, and my dad is telling me he has to go to a meeting for work when, bang, the front door gets hit. I later discovered it was kicked. We found a boot print multiple times. I then hear screaming, "Let me in! I just want to see her! She's my daughter!" I look at John, and he tenses and takes a deep breath. He gestures upstairs, and I know what he means. I run up the stairs and go to E's room. She's getting ready for the day, and I tell her to get back in the corner. I don't know this lady, and I don't know why the restraining order was in place, but I wasn't going to risk her hurting E. I put a chair under the door and tell E to put on her soundproof headphones and watch her tablet. I can tell she was scared and was trying to ask what was happening. I just smiled and said, everything is fine. I know she had an idea, but I wanted to try as hard as I could. I heard yelling downstairs as I put the headphones on. She got in somehow. I think he opened the door to tell her to leave, and she barged upstairs. I called 911 as she was banging on the door, screaming E's name. I told them the address and the situation, and as I saw the chair starting to move away from the door, I made the stupid decision to open the door and be the barrier myself. I quickly slammed the door and put myself between them.
"Who is this new W word? Get away from my daughter. She's mine."
I wasn't moving. I told her I'm the nanny, and there's no way she's getting past me. I then heard a small knock on the door. "Miss B," last name starts with B. "What's going on? Can I come out?" I looked at the mom, and she just yells,
"E, come on out. It's Mommy. Come talk to me."
E doesn't respond, and John comes upstairs and says, "The police are on the way. She'll be arrested when they get here." Finally, the entitled mother leaves, telling E through the door to unblock her number so they can talk. And she leaves. The cops come and she's already long gone. We make a report and they leave. You'd think it would be over, but oh no. John's worried about leaving, but he has to make this meeting for his business. I told him it would be okay and to just go. When he leaves, I have E downstairs sitting with me, and we're making bracelets. She's very on edge. Even the slightest noise makes her jump. After a few hours, she's a bit better, and laughing at some FNAF videos with me when I hear a knock on the door. I freeze, and so does E. I check the camera, and it's not her. I use the doorbell speaker and ask who she is. She asks if the car outside is mine. I said yes, it was. She told me that she hit backing up out of the driveway. I facepalmed. Could this day get any worse? Yes, it can. I go outside and do the insurance thing with the neighbor, and go inside to call my mom. I'm 19 at this time, and the car was in her name, and call the insurance. After a few minutes, I hear a loud bang. My blood runs cold. Did I lock the door behind me? Oh, frick. As I start running, I hear E scream. She says, "Go away. Let me go." As I turn the corner from the stairs, I see the entitled mother grabbing E and trying to drag her from the couch. I immediately run at her and grab her arm, wench it back and kick her knee. She yells in pain and falls back. I automatically put her between E and her mom. While the mom recovers, I put my hands behind my back and sign for E to grab my phone in my pocket and call 911. I know sign language, as I was teaching E just for fun throughout the days. She wasn't great at it, but I think those signs were more obvious. As I felt her grab my phone, I see a glint, and I'm face to face with a gun pointing at me. I raise my hands up. The entitled mom says, "You dumb B-word. Move aside. I'm here for my daughter, and I'm not leaving without her. She's mine." I say, "I'm sorry, but that's not going to happen. You can't be here." The entitled mom says, "I don't give a damn what the courts say. She's my daughter. They have no right to say I am unfit. He's been hurting her, I know it. I've never heard this before, and frankly didn't believe it, but I still figured I had an opening. If that's true, then call the cops. They will take your view into account. You and I know cops are more likely to believe moms over dads. Don't really know that, just said what I thought at the time." The entitled mom says, No. The courts and police don't get to decide what rights I have and don't. I'm taking her from her horrible father. Now step aside or I will shoot you." I again shook my head and said, "I'm sorry, but that's just what you'll have to do because I can't let you take her." Briefly, I closed my eyes, expecting a bang and the gun to fire, when E speaks up. "Mom, I don't want to go with you. I don't want you to hurt her. She's my friend. Just go away. Dad isn't hurting me. He loves me. The only one who hurts me is you by doing this." To say I was shocked by this was an understatement, and so was entitled mom. Don't you mean it's your dad turning you against me? Because I'm your mother, and you'll do what I say. Now come here." E stands, and I grab her, and keep her behind me. No way am I letting my girl anywhere near her, gun or not. "No, Mom. The cops are on the way. I called them, and they've been on the phone since, so they'll be here any minute. If you hurt Mrs. B, they'll see it." There was a look of realization crossing her face, and without another word, she tucks and runs out the front door. I run after her to see if she was in a car. She was, and I quickly took things to memory like color, make and model, and the person driving the car. She wasn't alone. She takes off, and under 5 minutes later the cops arrive. I'm in the living room, holding E, comforting her, telling her she's safe and that she was so brave, to quickly explain everything else. Cops take my statement. Dad comes home, and I explain through tears about how I was so stupid and left the front door unlocked. He assured me it wasn't my fault, and he was so thankful I was willing to protect E with my life. The entitled mother was arrested for a number of charges: breaking a restraining order, attempted kidnapping, attempted murder, breaking and entering, and later on I was called as a witness and filed out reports, but EM took a plea deal for like 3 years in prison, as long as she signed over her rights, or they'd go to trial, and she risks like 15 years. She signed. I unfortunately had to leave this nanny job because my college was opening again, and I had to go back. But I said if a trial needed to happen, I would fly back. And if they needed anything, they had my number. E gave me the biggest hug on my last day. John gave me a goodbye gift that was actually a brand new Prada bag that was worth like $1,300 as a goodbye present. And gave me my last check in an envelope, which was odd because he never did that before. He just smiled and said to open it when I got home. I agreed and said goodbye. When I drove home, he tripled my pay. And just to clarify, I made like $800 a week. Inside was a note saying the rest was for school. I was studying child psychology to be a child therapist, and he knew that and said I would be great at it, and if I ever needed a reference to just call him. It's been a few years now, but I still occasionally hear from E, and we talk for a while. She likes to ask me girl questions and have like sister talks. Her dad is engaged now, and E really likes her and calls her mom already. And nothing has ever made me happier. I'm so glad E was able to come back from this trauma, and that I could help in this situation. Easily one of the craziest things I've ever been through, but I got through it okay. I hope you enjoyed this story. Edit. Hi everyone, thank you all for the kind words. I will say to the some who think it's fake, I promise it's not. I wish it was, because despite being brave, I was absolutely terrified. And I had to be in therapy for a while because of some PTSD. But I respect that you weren't there and you don't believe it. I can't force you to believe it, that's your right. But I appreciate all the kind words and love for Eve and me on this post. I can't wait to tell her about it. That's the end of today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did enjoy, do a like and subscribe on this video and leave a comment with your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, without further ado, I will see you all next time. I mean, what? I'm totally not creepy. Anyway, have a nice day.